beep, beep, boop. Hello! Today is going to be a little bit different because I'm going to be answering your guys' questions from the last video. Don't worry, we're still going to draw, so grab your sketchbooks and let's get to it. Okay, so the first question that we're answering is from Rat Cake Party. And they ask, would you consider drawing anime characters? And if so, what series? And that's what we're going to do today. So today I am going to be drawing Lee Joo-hee from Solo Leveling. In a past video, I actually drew Sasha from Attack on Titan and Suki from Avatar: The Last Airbender in my style. You can check that video out here. There are a few other animes that I like as well, but maybe we'll jump into that in another video. KLaker433 asked, when did you discover your love for creating art? I would have to say that if I really think about it, probably first or second grade. I remember that was the first time that any of my art was put on anything other than the paper that I had done anything on. I felt so happy whenever my mom ordered my art on magnets and coffee cups and all this stuff. Now I know that that's like a service for, like little kids and all that good stuff, for little keepsakes and stuff now. But back then, it really, really helped spark that path for me. Yeah, I think I didn't actually realize that it was something that I really loved doing probably until middle school. I actually took an advanced art class. I had never worked with like true canvases and paints and pastels and all those different types of things until then. So I feel like I really actually got to dig my grimy little goblin hands into the nitty-gritty of art, I guess. Yeah, that's all relating to physical art and creating, but there are a lot of other types of art too that I absolutely love. I was in dance whenever I was younger, loved doing that and expressing myself to music, which led into my love for music in general. And so I love to sing. I was in show choir as well. And so it kind of just married the two. And then on top of that, I also love musical theater. I've been in quite a few productions and that was a lot of fun as well. That all to say, art is everywhere. And so if you are not creating something, that doesn't mean that you can't express yourself in another way. And now my sweet hubs and editor HP asked, do you ever like to imitate other styles? The answer is kind of. I feel very conflicted whenever it comes to trying to imitate other styles because to me and a lot of people, whenever you're creating art, it is supposed to be a stress reliever. And whenever I am trying to imitate someone else's style, it really gets me in my own head. Trying to make sure that I'm actually paying attention to all of the details and different proportions and all of this, it's a little bit harder. Now, to be fair, trying to imitate like a Bob's Burger style versus a Pokemon style is vastly different. There's obviously different levels to that too, but I get nervous trying to imitate anything other than my own. Now, that doesn't mean that I would never try or that would never pique my interest. Generally, that's not what I lean towards. The next one is from Liable Yeti. They said, I am so curious about your tattoos. The ones we can see, do they have meaning? And if so, do I mind sharing? Also, do I have more? Okay, yeah. So the ones that you can normally see, one moment. We'll start with this one because there's really, it's just a purple lotus. It is a cover-up though. The cover-up was just a bad tattoo. That's it. So this is a purple lotus. I got this at a point in my life where I was moving on to better things and it just kind of symbolizes new growth and new beginnings. This one here is currently upside down. This is a sweet little character from a video game called Ilo Milo. The whole point is to solve puzzles so that one character gets from one side of the map to the other character and they kind of meet in the middle where they are happy. So HP and I got them as a couple's tattoo. I do have a couple of stars on my shoulders. Do they have meaning? No. No, I just wanted to get them, and so I did. I also have a hummingbird with Rose of Sharon's on my foot. Does that one have meaning? Yes, it does. I used to sit out on my grandma's porch with her in the morning. She lives in the countryside, I guess. She always had hummingbird feeders, so we would sit out there and we would watch the hummingbirds, and her favorite flower is a Rose of Sharon. So that's what that is. And that's it. The next one is from Marissa Galati 5648. Do you use references for your drawings? Yes. Yes, I love references, especially whenever it is something that I'm not typically comfortable drawing or it's something new. I will be honest, I hardly ever don't use references, especially if I have something in my mind that I know I don't know how to draw, like flowing fabric or something that I just said, like I don't typically draw. So yes, references, yes. And it's perfectly fine. It's important. For example, you see people sitting all of the time. You see trees every day. You see cars. You see a lot of things on a daily basis that are normal. But if you were to sit down and try to recall every bit, it's going to be harder to do that by memory, or even if you don't know it textually. Textually? Is that a word? It's texture, without actually having it in front of you. It's important to use your references. A lot of my references I get from Pinterest. Obviously, you don't have to use Pinterest, but that's what I like. Okay. PwnSense92 asked, is there an art supply or medium you've been too nervous to try out? When it comes to exploring mediums and different supplies and whatnot, I am pretty much open to trying anything, really. There's not one thing that I think I would be nervous to try. Well, there is one thing, and that's glass blowing. I don't think that I don't even want to come near anything like that. First of all, I'm very clumsy. I don't know if you guys know this. So being around hot, breakable, molten liquid is probably not the best place for me. I am typically nervous if it is a new art supply in general, but once I get going, I have a better understanding of if it is going to be an art supply that I would enjoy, or maybe it's something that I don't, aka watercolors. Yikes. I was very nervous to try sculpting, but this was my first sculpture. I'm really happy that I did it. So this guy, now he is a little grody. He's kind of gross looking, but he's a little sweetheart. This is Pate de Rolo from the third campaign of Critical Role. He is the cutest little zombie rat bird familiar, and he talks like this. He's just the best. Always try new stuff. You never know what you might like. CJoy413 has a few questions for me. The first question was, what inspires you? Lots of things inspire me. I think that I get a lot of inspiration from the things that I watch and listen to. I listen to a lot of fantasy and fantastical things. I watch a lot of creative media as well. Anytime that I see something, even watching an animated TV series, I will notice things and start to get inspired. Movement in a character or a background, or even seeing the perfect color combination that is like candy to my eyeballs gets my brain juices flowing. So yeah, speaking of colors that I like, they also asked what my favorite color are. I love anything in the blue, green, yellow color family. I just love it. Yeah. Next bit was my favorite artist, living and or dead, real life or online. And my favorite artist that I have been following since the beginning of my journey is Loish. Loish is a huge inspiration for me. I love the movement in all of her pieces. I love her color choices, her expression studies. There's also an artist on Instagram, and her name is Lotus Bubble. She also has a very, very perfect style. I love seeing her stuff mainly for the same reasons as I love Loish. It's just peak. The next two questions kind of go together for me. Favorite art supplies, traditional or digital? I'm just gonna combine that into one because my favorite art supplies would have to be my iPad and my pencil. I much prefer digital art. However, drawing in a sketchbook, you just really can't replace the feeling of having that physicality with your supplies. So generally, I like to start in my sketchbook, get the textile feelings of it. Once I'm warmed up and feeling good and having an idea, I will transition over to my iPad into Procreate. Lastly, when did you first discover drawing with waffles? So drawing with waffles is also a huge inspiration, not just for my art, but also for my artistic journey. I will say that drawing with waffles and Jazza are the two artists that I started following on YouTube whenever I first decided to really get serious about getting better at art. I'd always doodled, but never really took it seriously until I found those two channels on YouTube. So I would say that I've been a fan of drawing with waffles for 6 or 7 years. 6 years. Yes, 6. I've seen a lot of comments saying that my channel reminds them of Draw with Waffles, which honestly is a huge compliment. Drawing with Waffles and also Rosanna Panzino from Nerdy Nummies were huge parts of my life, and I remember watching them. I always felt like I could really connect with them, and that if we ever met in real life, we would probably be pretty good friends. Lovely Day with Holly asked, will you show your face on your channel? So here's the thing. I am not purposefully not showing my face. I just don't feel like it's important for what we're doing. I have been on the internet for quite a while. There is my face somewhere. HP has a gaming channel and I have been on there multiple times as well. I'm not really on social media anymore except to post my art. Even there, it didn't feel like my face was, I don't know, necessary. So yeah, I still will draw self-portraits. I still will do things that depict what I look like, but who knows what the future holds. So if we start to evolve into more crafting things, then I'm sure you guys will see my face eventually. And lastly, we have Megadoo92 with a few questions as well. How did you and HP meet? We met 14 years ago through a mutual friend on Facebook, and found out pretty quickly that we lived a street apart from each other, went to the same school, had no idea who each other were. We dated for 2 months, got engaged, and then 2 months later we got married, and we're still happily married 14 years later. All right. Where are you located in the US? Well, I live in the Midwest, specifically the beautiful state of Indiana. What is your favorite place to eat, both fast food and sit down? My favorite fast food place, I guess, would be Chick-fil-A. And then as far as sit down, it kind of depends on what mood I'm in, I guess. Generally, I really like any type of hibachi place, and then probably Outback Steakhouse. Yeah. Besides being artsy, what do you like to do in your free time? Well, I like to nap. I like to nap a whole lot. I also really like to watch YouTube, specifically crafting channels. I like to snuggle with my cat. I like to do anything with HP. I also have been really enjoying playing RuneScape lately and video games in general. I just got the new Zelda game, so I'm very excited to start playing as Princess Zelda. I think that will be super, super fun. And lastly, what are your top 3 things on your bucket list? Well, I don't really have a bucket list, but I can think of 3 things right now. To go to Japan. That is something that HP and I have been wanting to do for a while. We've actually started trying to learn Japanese, even though we're not the best at practicing it religiously, but A for effort. Number 2, I would love to see anything from the wonders of the world. I think that would be really cool. I would be happy with any of them, basically anything in Europe. I would love to see the Colosseum. I would also love to go to the Louvre. That would be an absolute dream come true. Lastly, I would like to be able to say that I can create for a living. That would be my 3rd thing on the bucket list, I think. That being said, that is the end of the questions. Thank you guys so much for asking, and also thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this quick little drawing process while we answered some of these. If you doodled along, please post your creation on Instagram and tag me at xSirensSketches. I would absolutely love to see anything that you guys create. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps out the channel a whole bunch. And until I see you next week, don't forget to be kind to yourself. Bye!